Hi, welcome to Maestro Meadows. Today I'm going to take you through my career path. Career paths are really interesting because it's really rare that someone in high school knows, hey, this is what I want to do. They study it, that's what they do for the rest of their lives. And it's more and more rare over time. It used to be more common in the past. So I really find a lot of interest in seeing people's career paths and where they ended up. So here's mine. I was working in Las Vegas at the Luxor Hotel, just a job to put me through school. I was a ticketing supervisor for Blue Man Group. And I was recently married, and my wife just found out we were pregnant. We were really excited, and then 9/11 happened. And I was working on the Strip, and I actually worked on 9/11 handing refunds for the Blue Man Group show. Shortly after, I was laid off because of reduced tourism, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't have insurance after being laid off. I had a pregnant wife, and it was a little bit scary for a while. Luckily, I was rehired back just a few weeks later, but given that situation, and then my son had some medical complications. So at that point, we decided working for the government would provide the benefit and the stability that we needed as we were beginning to start our family. So I got my first job in local government at a detention center in the communication center, opening the doors and different things throughout the facility. And it wasn't that exciting, but it was a job, and it was stable, and it was what I needed at the time. And it's interesting, as I look back on my career path, there were a lot of things that I wanted to do. You name it, I probably wanted to do it and thought about doing it at some point, because there's so many things that interest me. But I looked at things from the perspective of, that sounds really interesting, that would be really cool, let's do it. On the one hand. On the other hand, it was always, okay, this is where I'm at, where's the next logical step to be able to get further quicker? I wanted to be successful. What that success looked like, was up for debate. But I wanted an impressive job title, and I wanted to be successful. So I just wanted to move up as fast as I could. So I always took the next logical step, whether it really made sense for me or not. From the detention center, I actually went on to be a police officer. Now, I never grew up thinking I want to be a police officer. It was, again, one of those things that sounded exciting. It's going to be a stable job. Let's go do it. I went through the police academy, and I was an officer for a while. I realized very quickly that if you're not committed to being a police officer, you shouldn't. And in the police academy, I took an assessment. They took a career assessment. The results put you into one of 4 quadrants. So they said, 15-20% of officers are in this quadrant, another 12% are up here, and another good percentage is up here, and 2% personality of officers fall in this box. And that's where I was. So obviously it was a bit of a mismatch. I had a different personality than almost all officers. And I came to realize that was true. It didn't suit me. Yes, I liked driving fast with my lights on. It was fun, but it really didn't suit me. So I transferred and I became a 911 operator, a communication dispatcher. I worked my way up to the training unit where I was training the new 911 operators. And that was exciting. I really loved training. And so I thought, what's the next step? So from there I got a job as a trainer within the city I was working for unemployed people. I was teaching resumes and branding and LinkedIn and interviews. And I finally found something that I really liked, that it led me to. And I realized one of my problems, I had applied for a lot of jobs and wasn't getting a lot of traction going on a management track. And I was scared to really say, I'm about this. This is what I want to learn. This is what I want to focus on. This is the skill that I really want to develop. Because I was worried that if I got pigeonholed down this track and all these other things sound really interesting, it would cut off the opportunity for doing this and this and that and that. And I didn't want to cut myself off from that different opportunity, which I found was a mistake because I really didn't develop that skill set that made me marketable. From there, I worked my way up from the trainer into the world of workforce development. Now, most people don't say, I want to be a workforce developer when I grow up. Most people don't even know what it is. Essentially, in workforce development, we work community-wide to look at the skill sets of the population, look at the needs of businesses, and work with training providers to see what skills are being trained and do they match up to the skills that businesses need. And we connect the dots kind of behind the scenes. We also work with nonprofits who help job seekers and we try to help them gain the skills that are needed. So we identify these are the main skill sets, and this is how we can fill the jobs that businesses need to continue to grow and continue to provide good jobs. Now, I love workforce development, and I really found something that I do love, and I am passionate about helping people get the skills they need to have a better career. However, as I've worked up into management and have seen how decisions are made and how things work in a big bureaucracy, it really doesn't suit me. Again, if I look at my personality, I started college as a piano performance major and became a little more realistic about my career path, but I didn't end up somewhere in something that I'm passionate about that really matches up to what I am best at. And it's funny, working in local government for so long, I've always been told, what do you work in government for? You need a creative path. You need to do these other things. But I was always looking, what is that next step? And wherever that was, that's where it led me. And that's leading to what my career transition is going to be. I've really decided that and really learned that developing those skill sets are what's really key. It's not about just thinking in a short period of time, what's the next step to get me? Because it might be leading you somewhere where you don't want to go. And that's what I found. So I want to develop that skill set, and I've started to study data science. And in other videos, I'm going to show you exactly how I'm doing that. I'm going to take you through my path and give you updates of how that's going. But one of the things I decided, I wanted an exciting job. I didn't want to sit behind a desk. And that's why I didn't think about things like data science, because, that's just a person there behind a desk crunching numbers. That sounds boring. On the surface, it sounded boring to me, which is I didn't pursue it. But especially after working from home the last few months, because of the COVID situation, I've learned that I really like working from home. I really like working by myself. I thought it would drive me crazy, but it doesn't. I really like it. So this is going to be my journey to develop a new skill set that I'm going to report back and let you know how it's going. And along the way, identify those resources that are really helping me identify that skill set. So there you go. A bientôt.